Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our gender class after the corona break. I hope you're taking good care of yourselves and keeping safe. Before we broke off for this corona thing, we studied the topic on the types of social activism, and we were able to identify up to 8 types of social activism, ranging from the judicial activism to environmental activism. We were also able to give examples of different characters who participated in these movements. Now today, we're looking at our last topic in this course. Remember, the course we are studying is coded as IGS 48. That is activism and gender movements. The topic I'm introducing today is women's involvement in local and international peace. That is our last topic for the semester. Now, women's involvement in international peace starts with their desire to create more democratic spaces for themselves and to be included in history. History tends to have a bias. It tends to favor men. Or we could use it in the past. History tended to favor men. As a discipline, it looked at the heroic deeds that menfolk had done. It ignored heroic deeds that probably women characters did, or women personalities did, or female personalities participated in. And even the title of the course has a bias against women. Probably women are soon going to come up with their history, her story, to negate his story. In other words, these women who have been involved in local and international peace are trying to say, they're trying to sensitize their societies that even women can participate in heroic deeds. We have heroic women amongst us. Just create a bit of some democratic space for them and you will see their performance. Hence, what we may refer to as her story, history. A woman also has a story to tell, just like we have had history, stories of heroic men, his story. The argument of these powerful women was that they too had stories to tell, hence history as opposed to his story. Strong women like Michelle Mogo in her African feminist theory captured the year 1984. So you can Google for her contributions to this tenet of the feminist movement that we are referring to as the African feminist theory. I think we studied it in the first topic, if I'm not wrong. We looked at the contributions of Michelle Mogo in advancing this movement. Now, we talk of movement in as far as it has an effect in the society. But we refer to a theory that comes up as a result of that movement that is minuted, that is studied, that influences people's way of thinking. If we may explore the tenet contributed by Michelle Mogo, that is the African feminist theory, we may say that it persuades, it coaxes. It's kind of telling African women to try and emulate their sisters in other lands. And when they talk of their sisters in other lands, they have the US in mind, who have sought a difference. These black women in the US advanced a movement that would allow them to participate in voting like their black men had fought and won the right to vote. The women also advanced movements that would allow them to vote as women. They also advanced movements that would allow them to live in better, what we call better areas and leave the ghettos. Remember, if we look at the civil rights movements, or we look at the discrimination as a result of racism that was inherent in the US then, they were relegated to slummish dwellings. They were relegated to ghettos. What in Kisumu, where we are right now, would probably refer to Obunga Estate, as a slummish kind of a dwelling. Those were the dwellings that the black people were relegated to. But out of the civil rights movement, whereby they also, fought so that they would have voice in participating in the day-to-day decision making of the society, they have been able to live in better neighborhoods. They have been able to participate in political rallies. They've been able to participate in spaces such as taking seats in the various houses. Like we have the Republican and we have the Democrat. Now we want to talk of one particular social activist, that is Martin Luther King Jr., who dreamt, he inspired millions of blacks by making them dream differently. He kind of said that I have a dream. What was the dream? I have a dream that one day the US will be led by a black man. And that dream came true when we saw none other than Barack Obama ascend to the throne as the first black president of the US. So some of these social movements we are seeing can actually transform people's way of thinking. It can inspire those that have certain desires met to work hard towards achieving their dreams. Just like Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream was met. Now women have also dreamt differently. Women have dreamt of seeking political positions, and not just political positions, even the very high seats. Like we had Hillary Clinton, struggling to become the first woman president of the US. But we realized that probably she needed more time. She needed to change the mindset of the US menfolk to be able to choose her as the first woman leader into this position. She lost the seat, an indication that there's need still for these movements to inspire other women to assume these positions. Now, many women in the US played important roles in the civil rights movements, from leading local civil rights organizations to serving as lawyers pro bono. When we talk of serving as lawyers pro bono, we are saying that a lawyer may decide, I will represent a particular client at no fee. I will offer my services for free, particularly to the weak, to the meek, to those who don't have the resources to pay them. So we have had women lawyers, take up cases that they do for free. They're not paid. They have done this on school segregation lawsuits. Like if one feels they have been discriminated against in a school setup, then these women would take up their cases and petition these cases in courts of law. Now, their efforts to lead the movement were often overshadowed by men who still got more attention and credit for successes in popular historical narratives and commemorations. Again, when these women did that, sometimes the efforts they made to represent these meek clients would not be taken note of, but they are inspirational deeds. We have had cases, even here in Maseno, whereby some of us have tried to petition the cases of others. We have talked of Miriam, our own student. who dropped out, you remember, at probably second year because of early marriage. And out of the efforts we have made as a gender class, we have ensured that she has gone back to school and she's now completing. Gladly, she should graduate this year. So what does this social activism do to us? It opens our eyes to the needs of other members of the society. And women are more rounded. Women are nurturants, yeah? They are more rounded to take note of the needy in the society, particularly women folk. So when we talk of women's involvement in local and international peace, we are saying that the role that women are playing can make a big difference in bringing peace in various societies, in allowing harmony to coexist in various families, in various societies. And remember, the family is the smallest unit of the society. We want to talk about Gwendolyn Sohara. Now, Gwendolyn Sohara, a member of the Students' Non-Violent Coordinating Committee, SNCC. SNCC stands for Students' Non-Violent Coordinating Committee, was chosen to be a field director in the US. Now that was a project. The project was meant to enhance gender equality. And she fought so that the women who were given such positions would also be given salaries commensurate with the work they were doing. Earlier, women were paid lower salaries than directors who were men in other organizations. So Gwendolyn is remembered particularly for working hard so that these women in positions would be paid similar salaries like other directors. She also said that these women should be given vehicles so that they're able to reach various sectors of the society easily. She had to fight to get equitable resources, which indeed she's remembered for getting. She put a stop to sexual harassment at the place of work and sought to be given cars like their male counterparts. I've already said that. Now in India, we have another prominent woman by the name Gayatri Spivak. Gayatri is particularly remembered for giving women voice way back in India, and for petitioning for women to be given positions of responsibility in the society. She has done a book entitled Can the Subaltern Speak? Now the subaltern here is the discriminated one, yeah? That one who is ignored in the society. Can she speak? So in her book, she's giving accounts of various women who were probably thought didn't matter, but after being given positions of responsibility, did tremendous work like she herself is doing. Now the subordinate roles women are given to play in society include domestic drudgery. The society just decided that women were better placed to do the domestic work, do dishes, cook meals, give birth to children and raise them up. The men, more often than not, escaped by just reading papers. Now these women who are seeking peace in society are trying to say that, look here, that work the woman is doing require payment. That housework that she's doing is arduous. Can the men and the women take roles in playing or in doing housework? It is fine that the woman has given birth to that child, but that child needs to be raised. Can they play roles in raising up these children on an equal footing? Women are not voicing, but they are certainly straining. Yeah, and probably it is because of that peace may not coexist in the family. If the men played a similar role, the women would have time off their backs to also recuperate from such strenuous work as, giving birth, raising up children and such like. Spivak Gayatri says there are unique ways in which women, as disadvantaged people, express their experience. Now that women have been educated, they write about their experiences, particularly in autobiographies. And we have mentioned a few. We have already read Unbowed by Wangari Maathai. We have read This Child Will Be Great by Helen Sirleaf Johnson of Liberia, and of course the first African woman president to ascend to that position. Now, why do they write these stories of their lives? Why are they writing her story? Yeah, Condoleezza Rice has also given us an autobiography, yeah, that she hopes would inspire other women. They could read and become different people. In our itemizing of types of social movements, remember, we also talked of literary social activism. Even literary works can actually speak to people differently so that they can become different members of the society. Now, Spivak speaks on behalf of the marginalized, engaging the subaltern voices, yeah? The philosopher and theorist. If that person who is ignored is given chance to speak, is given chance to write, she will write differently. We explored autobiographies by Winnie Mandela. My soul went with him. Now, in that particular autobiography, Winnie Mandela tells us how she continues the struggle that her husband had started. In her famous slogan, "Aluta continua." So it's possible that women given a chance, yeah, can speak differently, but it must require other women to give them that inspiration. Now, Spivak proposes that Western intellectuals' religion of non-Western, when we talk of non-Western, we are talking of the African, we are talking of the Asian, we are talking of the Middle Eastern, yeah, forms of knowing, of acquiring knowledge of the world, yeah. That is, the knowledge that these people, the so-called underdeveloped societies or underdeveloped countries, can be made a twist over so that those who look like they don't know start knowing. Those who look like they cannot start doing. But they need to be inspired. Yeah? That's where social activism comes in. Yeah? Somebody has to take upon their problems on themselves and educate these people anew. Remember, we talked of Paulo Freire, 1970. Yeah? Who inspired millions of sugarcane plantation workers in Brazil by teaching them how to read and write in 45 days. And after teaching these people how to read and write, he changed their mindset. He told them, you cannot be sugarcane plantation workers for the rest of your lives. The reading and writing you have learned must make a difference in your lives. And indeed, he changed the mindset of these people. That is what Spivak Gayatri is saying, that let us not recline back in this part of the world where we are, as Africans, as Indians, as Spivak Gayatri is, as a Middle Eastern, and say, we are content with our lot as underdeveloped. Let us seek inspiration and seek a difference. And China has given us a very good example. Yeah, China has used its population to work hard, so that they have changed the old adage that we are looking to the West. Now, even here in Kenya, we look to the East. We want a railway gauge done, we look to the East for donations. Can we also work hard in such a manner that in the geopolitics, yeah, we have the Western Bloc and we have the Northern Bloc looking up to Africa for development? For how long are we going to beg for support, beg for donations from these people? Spivak is inspiring us and telling us that let us change this by using what we call social activism, by reformulating said forms of knowing as myth and as folk. That a woman is to be seen and not to be heard. No. A woman must be heard. She must speak what she knows. Now, we will then do a study on Helen Sirleaf. But before we do that, we may need to take 10 minutes break to recap on what we have done. I will be back in 10 minutes. Take a break.